Good morning. What is up, guys? It is day 10 of the 30-day challenge. Guys, we are 1/3 of the way there already. Crazy. It's actually going like really quick. Day 10, it's Valentine's Day, guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you all are doing something nice for your significant other. Show them some love. And for my single people out there, hey man, just show some love to yourself. Call some sellers, man. Who knows? Maybe they'll be your other half. All right. What do we got going on today? I do apologize. I'm hopping on here a couple minutes late. I'm a little behind schedule. The reason why was I went a little over with training this morning. I had training with Brian, he's been killing it, man. He's been doing driving for dollars and talking to some leads and kind of doing what he can. And he's been doing really, really well, and the training's been helping him out a ton. So it's been a blast. He's doing awesome. So I apologize. That went over. I get a little carried away sometimes when I kind of get into teaching mode, especially when it's sales and wholesaling. Sometimes we get a little carried away. All right, guys, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? Yesterday we called some agents. Man, we got to see what a few of those conversations look like. We got to see what a conversation with an agent that doesn't want to talk to you looks like. That was fun. In case anyone wants to know, oh, how did it go? He never texted me back. In case, and which is fine. That happens, right? So he was kind of upset, hung up the phone, and then we shot him a text to see if he'd reach back out, and he didn't, which is fine. All right, let's bring up Privy here. So what are we doing today? We are going to spend a little bit of time adding some more properties to our list, and then we're going to call some more agents. All right. Let me share my screen with y'all. Present, share screen, entire screen. This one. Awesome. All right, lists. All right, we are going to. So we've got past, we've got 14 up in here. We've got some failed. We've got market research. That's kind of like the catch-all for ones that have cash buyers. Let me turn off the sound on this. Got a phone that's just dinging and buzzing over there. Had to turn that thing on silent. All right. So Orange County actives. Let's go back to this. So this thing under contract. Let's take a real quick look at it. Previous sale. Let's see, is this a rehab? Sure is. Huh, that's interesting. It's kind of like a weird choice, right? Are they like putting that in last, or? So this looks like a flip. This looks like your exact paint and carpet. Now I'm curious so this will be a market research cash buyers, but I want to know what did they buy this for? Just curious. So they bought it 2021. For 128, is this right? So I think 128, and then they're selling for 243. Yeah. So for this kind of rehab. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Not bad. All right, so we're gonna put this market research to do. Now, why are we Nathan, why on earth are we just throwing this straight into one of these buckets? We didn't even comp it. We didn't really look to see, oh, maybe a hedge fund would buy it. Well, one, it's under contract already. Two, the first thing I looked at was this a flip? If it's a flip, right, which this one definitely was, you know, if we look at the pictures, if it was a flip, then they're like, we're not the buyer that they're looking for, right? It's listed on the market, a rehabbed property. Like, there's no point in us wasting our time. So that's why, you know, but we would love to know who the buyer is so that we could build a relationship with those guys. On to the next one. Scarsdale, probably not going to be a good fit. 387. Let's look at comps. One under contract, but that's not going to be different neighborhood, I would say. Let's do all. Huh? There's no settings. So this is, wow, I think this is the least amount of comps that we've seen in an area. Where is this area? It was like heart of Orlando. Lake Cherokee, Lagola. So that's where, what did this, so this sold in December. This isn't one that we're going to call, but listed 20 days ago. Huh. I'm just curious as to why this hasn't sold. Don't think this is the right spot. Huh. Oh, well, we're going to do failed soft bets. So my fiance, my beautiful Valentine, she got me, she loves me so much. She got me some of my favorite things. She got me a book, but she also got me, so one of my guilty pleasures is Jelly Bellies, specifically Jelly Belly jelly beans. You know, other jelly beans I'm not, no thanks, but like Jelly Bellies, I don't know if anyone else is a fan of those. I don't know, they're so good. I just never stop eating them if I have them in front of me. So this house, so listed 20 days ago. Let's look at comps. So we've got a 3-1. It's kind of small in square footage, so that's why. But so here's the other thing I stand corrected. So you're looking at, okay, but like what's the average for that neighborhood, right? 864 is small compared to what we've been looking at the past couple days. But if that's the neighborhood average, then it's like, okay, cool. It doesn't really matter because that's like the norm for this neighborhood. So in both these parts, so this is, oh my God, but it's listed for 230. Bruh. They would need to be significantly less. I'm curious, what does the description say? Yeah, we're just gonna do failed soft bets. Just because that price is so far off from these other ones. I mean, we would, yeah. Yeah. Failed soft bet. Couple things. One, because they're just so far off in price. I mean, I don't even know if 100 grand would do it. But two, it's also like it's going to be one of those properties that's going to be kind of hard to sell, right? It's smaller. If you even the property that's sold for 100 grand, I like the exterior of that one more than I did the one we were looking at. It had a bigger yard, and so properties to where like I don't know. I do not like dealing with headache properties. Listed 11 days, 200K. Let's look at some comps. What I mean by headache properties is just like properties that are going to be really hard to sell. If you have buyers that will buy them, great. Then you know where they need to be at. But I also like, again, we would need to somehow get them to drop over 100 grand, and it's only been listed. It was only listed for like 20 days or something. So it's not like it's been there for 150 days kind of thing. Okay, so this property, 4.2, 1,200 square feet. Wow, would you look at that? 12 spaces for a carport. I feel like, I could be wrong, but my gut instinct is telling me they might have had a typo there. Might have had a typo. So let's look at these. Let's go by year built. Now, why do we look at year built? And guys, I apologize if I've said these things, like if I've gone over some of this stuff like 2 or 3 times, but might be someone's first time watching today, or I might have not said it yet. And you know what? Repetition is the mother of mastery. So it's a win-win. So why am I going by year built? So typically one, it's good to stay within, ideally you want your comp to be within plus or minus 5 years. So if our house is built in 1962, we want our comp to be between 1967, right, down to 1957. Now, it's not the end of the world if your comp is like a little bit outside, but if you're looking at a house that's built in like 2005, like you got the wrong property. Even if it looks very, very similar, I wouldn't use it. Now, the other thing though, is the reason, aside from wanting your comps to be within plus or minus 5 years, for me, the reason why I do is because it's the easiest way to find the same type of house. Right. So typically, like if you think of a builder that's building a neighborhood, he's going to build the same style houses like in the same years. So within like the 2-3 year period, they're probably going to be almost identical styles, or it might only be like 1 or 2 different styles. So 62, let's go. So let's take a look here. So it's 42,000 square feet, so very similar to ours. But that looks like, I mean, without looking on the pictures, it's probably like an as-is comp. Yeah, I don't think they have any pictures. Right, so it's not like an ARV flip. Now let's look at this one. So someone bought it for 217, sold for 270. Doesn't mean it's a flip, but let's find out. So this is a 3-2, similar to our house. let's look at before and after. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Oh, no, is that the same? I can't tell. I think it's the exact same. Or no, they redid the bathroom, it looks like. All right, so they did some work to it for sure. Not like a ton. So they bought this at 217. Um, let's see. Florida Homes Investor LLC. So that's who we'd want to know. So a few things. One, we're going to add these dudes to market research. So this is a 3-2, 1,200 square feet. It's got a carport, right? And then let's look at ours. Yeah, we're gonna, and he bought that one for two. When was, that's the one thing I forgot to look at. When did he buy that though? Oh, okay, so this sold, the finished product sold last year. So these numbers definitely, you got to take that with a grain of salt. So like what a lot of guys are doing is, and then take 10% off, like right off the top, right? So if we do 270 times 0.9 for 90%, so 243 is what people would say the ARV is, right? They'll take 10% off the top of like an older comp. I'm gonna add this one to our list though, because we do have a solid comp. It's just a little old, and we didn't look to see if there's even more comps. Now again, why am I not spending more time? Like, don't waste a ton of time comping properties until and this is only because we're calling on listed properties, right? We're making our list of who to call, who to not call. Our list is pretty small. Like, if you've got access to a dialer, dude, honestly, I would probably just throw all these in a dialer and just call them all and have the conversation anyways. Because if you notice how I have my conversation, kind of doesn't matter so much about the property. It's kind of the same conversation, to where we're looking to create that relationship. So we added this one to our list. So we've got to add it here. Let's do this. Adeline Abram. Yeah, I think one of the things, a lot of newer people kind of get mixed up is they spend way too much time like looking over the details and comping a property before they even call and talk to the seller. Don't do that. Do not do that, because it's like you can spend all this time looking at property, finding a comp, and figuring out, okay, my offer price would need to be around here, and then you call them and they're like, oh yeah, not interested, and it's like, okay, well, I just wasted like an hour of my time doing this. So what we do is we call, we have the conversation. And honestly, I think it's better for you strategically to not know your offer price. Why? So that you don't give them your offer price, too early. I know we've talked about that before too. Giving your offer way too early in the conversation. Oh, come on, no mobile. Giving an offer way too early in a conversation with the seller. It's a little bit different for homes that are listed. let's go with what is all this stuff popping up here? It's a little different when properties are listed because it's like it's listed like they're obviously ready to sell right now. And it's like we're talking to an agent, you know, so it's not like we're giving it directly to the seller. It's through a third party, and they're going to want to be direct about it. The whole like, let's get a seller on the phone and try to go through the entire conversation, like the whole offer process, like on that first call. I'm like so against that. It's yeah, I do not think it's the right way to go about things. You haven't built enough rapport to get a definite yes or no the same day that you talk to somebody on a cold call. If I'm cold calling, my goal is not to make an offer. Like I literally will not make an offer on that first call. Even if they're motivated. You can call them back that evening, right? You can call them back like 30 minutes, an hour later. The only exception is like if it's truly like a ground ball lead, which is like going to be 0.1% of the people you talk to. But every once in a blue moon, you will get a ground ball to where the person's like, yo, I need to sell it. Here's all the reasons why I need to sell it. Here's everything about the property. Can you please make this happen? And they're like, here's my price. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's a home run price. Yeah, we can do it. Okay, cool. Let me send over the paperwork. Those will happen. If like you're putting in the work, you will get those people. But they are few and far between. Let's look at this property. So it definitely needs work. Needs some updating. At 3.2, 1,600 square feet, built in 1975. Oh, I'm just gonna add this to my list already and try to sell to a hedge fund. But let's just real quick get an idea. Let's look at some of these. It's kind of so yeah, not bad. What did I do? Counts. Kept it the way I did it. Love it. Did it? Which one did I click on? So this one's listed for 260. Oh, you know what? Let me change this for the sale date. Let's go back to September. Let's only look at comps from there from now on. We can always switch it to all activity, but for right now, because anything that sold in the summer of last year, right, like the comp we were just looking at a second ago, right, like sold for 270, but if we take 10% off top, ARV is more like 240. So big, I mean, it's a 30K jump in ARV. So let's look. What is this one? 320. Can I? So this has got a garage. Does our? I don't think ours does. It's 4.2. I wouldn't look at that as a comp. Let's look at some of these other ones. Garage 310. And guys, again, like that's another good thing to keep in mind as you're flipping through is like, yes, we know it's not a comp property because of the garage, but you can kind of start to get a feel for how much our garage is worth in this neighborhood, in this area, or like in this market, the Orlando market. You know, if you're consistently seeing like, okay, there's 3 houses with like this sold for 320, this sold for 310, and they're both, you know, similar just at a quick glance, beds, bath, square feet. One 155. We look at that. But if we're just looking at everything, so this sold for 360. This looks like a pretty unique house. I'm not even going to look at it. Oops. So it sold for 255. Now it's older, yes. Right? This one's 1970, 1400 square feet, sold for 280. So if you look at these, I mean, they've got the extra bedroom, you know, one less bath, you know, only 2 baths, but I mean, that's like a $40,000 difference for a garage, right? This one we're going to add to our list though. Why? Because we still want to get a feel for where the hedge funds are at. So we're going to submit like kind of a number of these properties because I really want to kind of dial in as far as like, okay, well, what will they buy and what will they not buy? Because like the real power of starting with the end in mind comes from when we're able to dial in like to the penny. Like when I'm able to just look at a property and be like, oh, yeah, I know I've got a guy to where, you know, he can pay $233,000 for this house, like all day. From a sales perspective, you've got so much conviction, and like when you know with certainty, how much can you put on the like if you needed to put $5,000 earnest money, like if you know for a fact, like all day that like I have a buyer that will buy this for 233 and they're willing to go under contract at 220, but they want $5,000 down, you know, are you and I'm not even saying use $5,000 of your own money, right? You can figure that out, right? Either you could there's people that will lend for that. You could have family, friends, whatever, another investor, and you can offer them like a certain type of return. Dude, it like the other thing is like when you're at the beginning and like you need to do what you need to do to get the deal done to make some money, guys, sometimes you got to offer like an unfair offer, right? So sometimes you might have to offer, be like, dude, if you give me $5,000, you know, for earnest, I will give you 50% of this deal. And you're like, Nate, oh my God, 220, you said 233, that's a $13,000 assignment fee. You're going to give someone $6,500 just for like an earnest money deposit? Yeah, like if that's the difference, you know, because like you have to look at what you're comparing it to. Like people get really caught up on percentages. But it's like, dude, what's the percentage of nothing? You know what I mean? Like you've got to remember the thing you're comparing it to is nothing, right? So it's like, do I want to make money or do I not? It's like, yes, I understand, you know, that I'm giving away a lot on this deal, but is it like, do I win or do I not win? It's a win. You make money, you get a deal done, you build a relationship, all these things, or nothing. Why? Because of I wanted a higher percentage of nothing. You know, it's funny, even when, because I've had a couple conversations with some people that reached out and were interested on like working, you know, how I've made the posts with working with people, you know, in the market. Hey, I'll teach you sales. I'll help you close the deals. We'll make up a game plan for you, all this stuff. And it's like, hey, here's the splits on the deal. I was like, if you get under contract, I'll dispo it and we can do 50-50. Or if I lock up like if you just bring the lead and I close it for you, we can do, I was like, I'll give you 30% of the deal. The funny thing is those are actually like insane percentages. I mean, the 50-50, if they contract it, that's normal, right? But a 70-30 split just for me locking up your lead, dude, think of when's the last time someone paid like a VA 30% of a deal for did we add this? We'll do it again if not. When's the last time a VA got paid 30% for just generating a lead that someone else closed? Right. And then on top of that, it's like they're getting all the sales training. So it's funny, like I've had some people, they're like, dude, 30%, like that's it. And I'm like, bro, I'm literally teaching you how to do everything also. Like I'm teaching you, like I'm giving you all this stuff. I was like, and I'm locking up. Like it'd only be 30% if you wanted me to lock it up for you. So it's funny, man. But like some people are like, no, I'd rather not learn anything. I'd rather not, because they want a higher percentage. And so egos, don't let your ego get in the way. Moral of the story. All right, we're done with this one. On to the next one. Man, I'm on my soapbox this morning. Rocky, good morning, Nate. Where can I submit deals I find to you, whether it's an assigned contract or a lead? Good question, man. What would be the best? Are they in Florida, or is it like, are they in the market that I'm working? If not, it's honestly, man, I unfortunately, I don't really have the time to work. Well, if it's a contracted, hey, you need help with dispoing it, we can have you submit it. But it might be somebody else that would help you out with it. If it's in Florida, yeah, man, we can talk all day. I mean, not all by all day. I mean, like, we can go over it and see what's going on. All right, let's take a look at this house. So 299 Market Street, MLS details. Yes, in Florida. Awesome. Is it do you have my cell phone? Just you can just text it to me, or you could just text me. If I wonder, is our whacking like, I don't know if I can message you directly. My number's 845-853-6551. So just shoot me a text, and then we can chat about it, and I can take a look at it. If it's just a lead, I'm probably going to ask you for some info, just because like it's a lot of time can get wasted like looking at leads. We really want to kind of hop on the phone. If I'm helping somebody with a lead, it has to be a qualified lead, right? So, if we talk about kind of like the 4 pillars, that's one thing from Brent Daniels that I've loved that he's brought to the table is, you've got motivation, timeline, price, condition, right? So just if we're if you're like, hey, I've got a lead, I'm going to want to know what those 4 things are. If it's a listed property, if you're like, well, it's a listed property, I'm still going to kind of want to know those things, right? Because if it's just a listed property, it's like, well, we don't really know much about anything yet. We at least got to know gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, if it's a listed property, we just kind of need to know, have you talked with them? What kind of price they'd be, need to be at? Have you made an offer? Those kind of things. All right, let's take a look at this house. So 4.3, 1,800 square feet. But yeah, Rocky, just you can shoot me a text, man, and we can chat about it. Don't sweat it. Like, if for whatever reason, like, I know I just talked about having the qualifications and whatnot. If you're not sure, like, oh, if I have everything on this first one, just hit me up. We can talk about it. No big deal. All right. So 4.3, 1,800 square feet. So it's big. I like that. So we've got 2 here. So ours was 1960. Let's look at this one. So what's our house look like real quick? So it's not kind of the 4.2, or I'm sorry, it's not the 4.3, 1,900 square feet I was looking for. I like this though. Well, this is definitely a good flip opportunity. It's been listed, for about 30 days. let's look at the comps again. So they're asking $299. That's a 2.2 that sold for $480. We're not going to look at that. This, not a comp. All right, let's change the settings. Let's do all. So let's look at some of these. Let's go by year built. Let's take a look at the, oh, there's a 2.1. Look at that thing. So that's sold for $188. So it's nice that at least, again, we're just, at least we know like a feel for like where the bottom is roughly. Let's look for some a little bit more. Man, it's a lot of 2 bedrooms. So the issue is ours is going to be a bit older. All these other ones are 90 and above. So that's probably, you know, a big issue he's running into is one, it's old. 1960, there's not a whole lot of other 1960s. What's under contract? 99. Nah. Let's see. You know, it goes from like the 1960s and then boom, somebody put a hold for 30 years and then decided to like build here again. So what are these going for? So, okay. So again, it's just a house that's 30 years newer. 30 years newer is selling for literally 20 grand more than what this was listed for. Right? And this was summer of last year. Right? I mean, like literally that's like the just leading into the summer. So yeah, we would need a big drop on that one. Now, granted, yes, like this is much smaller. Like definitely take those things into consideration. But it's, I mean, this is a much newer house. Yeah, I don't think those are comps. Some high priced homes, that's for sure. Not really much that helps us out, except for this one. So honestly, like if I had to put something on it, I mean, if this is selling for 188, I'd say ARVs maybe like 250 on the other one, on ours. You know, 250. ARV is probably like closer to 275. But I don't think somebody would do like a 275 kind of rehab on this house. Like this house, I would think, you know, you're looking kind of for that lower end, you know, first time home buyer, that lower price point. So it's like, you know, much more of a budget rehab for like a rental property. But you know what? Let's just call them anyways, because that's not going to sell anytime soon. Not at this price, in my opinion. Gotha. Gotha. Coming down to Gotha. I've got an uncle in Boston who I always give him a hard time. He doesn't really have a Boston accent at all. He's not like, you know, born and raised in Boston, but I always kind of bust his chops. If anybody knows the commercials, they played one of them at the Super Bowl, you know, with the guy with your cousin from Boston. So every time I chat with my uncle, every time I see him or he gives me a call, that's how I answer the phone. My uncle from Boston. All right, throw this in here. All right, let's take this number. Throw in here. Excuse me. All right. Oh, another thing real quick. So an update. So Brian, I can't remember if I told you guys. I'm pretty sure I did. Brian brought to the table a guy who's a wholesaler that had a deal he was looking to sell. Put me in touch with him, and I was chatting with the guy about the deal. We had a really good conversation. He was originally looking to sell it for like he told Brian 240. When I spoke with him, I think he said like 220. So I looked at it, and basically ARV was like 250. Now it's not like a super bad house. It's not in like super bad shape. It's a decent property, pretty decent shape. Could use some light touch up. But like a buyer would need it around like 150. So how do we do that without ruining the relationship? So guys, like, especially if you're wholesalers, like think about how you felt if you've ever had a property and then like tried to present it to someone, even if it's like another buyer, whether you had the contract or even if you're just asking them for the price, where like they would need to be at, or even if you bring it to like another wholesaler, another person. How many times like have you gotten like that? Oh my gosh, dude, you're not even close, bro. It needs to like I wouldn't pay more than this for it, right? And you're just like, ugh, okay, like not gonna ask you next time, like and even if everything that they're saying is true, to where you're like, oh man, I didn't know about like all that stuff, or like I didn't see it that way. It still just kind of leaves you like, eh. So guys, I can't tell you how much, like, just be genuine and be helpful and friendly, and that goes such a long way. So for like this guy, how do I let him know, hey, this is like, dude, the numbers look more like this, without kind of doing it in that way. And one of the things is just, being genuinely like, hey man, I'm looking at the property. I know you're saying ARV's around here, but I like with the way my buyers look at a property, they would be seeing ARV kind of more around here. And here's sort of the property that I'm looking at. Is there something that I'm missing? Right? And then we get feedback. And then he ended up like and just friendly with him, right? So it turned into like a good conversation. He knows I'm not trying to like beat him up on the property. I'm just genuinely being like, hey, this is kind of like what I'm seeing. Is there something that you're seeing that I'm not? Right? And Sonny's like, yeah, I think you're right. ARV is looking around here. And I was also like, with that kind of ARV, I was like, most buyers, they probably need to be around, a lot closer to 150. And the funny thing was, he was like, yeah, that's actually where all the other buyers have been coming in. So most buyers will just like hit you hard. We're like, dude, I'd need this at like 150. And then they'll just kind of write it off and be like, yeah, it's not a deal. Like it's not going to work out, or they won't get back in touch with them or anything. But I kind of took it next step, like, hey, do you think, is there any chance that you might be able to renegotiate it and chat with the seller, or do you think that might be kind of tough? And again, like, just kind of having empathy, right? And just kind of some compassion, and trying to help him out where you can. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna try talking with the seller today. He's like, I think there's a chance. So that's we'll see. We'll see. You know, it still might not work out, but you make a lot more progress. And then what are the chances he lets me know like first on the next one? Right? If my like so long as he knows if my prices aren't like significantly less than his other guys, and if he enjoys working with me way more, he's gonna hit me up, which is what we want. All right. So let's look at this thing. Let's look at this thing. Rocky, I'm doing agent outreach and direct to seller, but I always like to have a conversation with either the agent or seller just to do my due diligence. Yeah, that's totally fine. That's awesome. That's exactly what I'm talking about. 100%. Always have a conversation. All right, let's take a look at this one. 3-1, 950, built in 1957. So let's take a look if there's any flips. So this was bought for 128 and sold for 170, but it's a 2-1, and it's a bit older. We want, no, what's a square feet on it though? So like same square feet. It's about 1,000. Let's take a look at these. No, it's different from ours a little bit. But 1,000 square feet sold for 230. This sold for 250. Oh, we've looked at this before. 3-1. So that sold for 170, and that's got a garage. Interesting. So let's take a look at this one sold for 170. But that sold like summer of last year. So 170, he's probably, well, how long has his been active? 7 days. Ah, gosh, I keep doing that. So yeah, let's add it to our list. And Florida zip code. Rocky, what are you doing for your agent outreach and direct to seller? Are you using Privy for direct to seller? Are you like pulling lists and like cold calling or text blasting? What's that look like for you? I think that's what we're looking for, right? Yeah, Tampa, Florida. Oh, so this guy, so this might be like a flat fee listing. As is routine spec, aspires buyers are responsible for arms, measurements, blah 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 blah. We add this to our list, right? In case not. Oh, totally forgot. Let's forgot to check our email. Privy. Boom, look at that. Let's see, what do we got new? So we've got, this looks like a flip. Let's look at previous. Oh yeah, look at this. This is nice. So just curious, so what, he bought for 293 and selling for 360. Listed at 360. Now, that's interesting. So what percentage is that? So if he's got listed at 360, or I'm sorry, we did it the wrong way. It's what do you buy it for again? 293. So 293.3 divided by 360. So that's 81%. If we do times 100. So he bought, and this isn't even sold. He's listing it for this. Interesting. Now, when did he buy this? Because this wasn't like just a slouch kind of rehab either. Like, you know, it's not like he just threw in like just like a little bit of paint, you know. He put some money in it and he's listing it for 360. Now maybe he's trying to get it to bid up. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. So what area is this in? So kind of like North Orlando. Well, we want to know. We want to know that, dude. For sure. All right, on to the next one. Let's see. How do I close this? There we go. Pre-automation email alerts. As long as I have buyers' detailed criteria, it saves a lot of time. Yeah, 100%. That's awesome, man. I love it. Love it, love it. And then what are you doing for your direct-to-seller stuff? Are you just pulling lists? Are you local in that market, Rocky? Or do you live out of state somewhere? I looked at this. I looked at this yesterday. So this is something interesting. So 240 listed for 275. Doesn't mean it was a flip. That's like a pretty slim margin for that to be a flip. So let's look at property history. So the seller is this LLC, the buyer was this LLC, so could be an investor. And if you look, it like they didn't do anything to it. I mean, it looks like they might have changed the paint, but it honestly, that could even just be like the lighting, maybe. So I'm gonna put this person as market research. I put this as past soft vet. Why did I do that? I think to have I was gonna have a hedge fund look at it, but no, that's really not worth us calling on. But we do want to know who the buyer is for that. Okay, next one. Wasn't this one we just looked at? 41-46 Tatum, 41-46 Tatum. And then I looked at this. I feel like I got emails twice on these. Out in PA. All right, my man. We looked at this. We 100% looked at this. Right? Yeah, we spoke to Rick yesterday. So sometimes that happens. Right? So we get email notifications. So I'm actually glad this is happening. So we get email notifications every time a property hits our criteria. So that doesn't mean it's like all the properties we look at, like it's going to hit our stuff every day. It's excuse me, a change must have been made. So it says updated less than an hour ago. So that's probably why it hit our email is he did something to like adjust this, and then when it comes back online, it's like it's showing us like, oh, there's a new property back online and it hits your criteria. So boom, it goes to our inbox. Now, why do we have these kind of lists? Why is it so important for us to have it set up this way? Because now, luckily, I mean, this was just from yesterday, and like I barely recognized it, right? I mean, we caught on, but it took me a second. But, as time goes on and we're looking at more and more and more properties, there's no way to keep track. So when I click on this, right, it comes to my email. I look at all these. I'm like, have I seen this before? I'm not sure. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on Manage List. Oh, yeah, I've already looked at this and I already put it into my soft vet. So I don't need to look at this at all. I've already done whatever it is I need to do. Right? And then this is like our soft vet list. And this is what we're calling. If it's green, we already talked to him, which, boom, we spoke to him right here yesterday. Cool. And that is all the emails. Awesome. All right, let's get back at it. Exit. Okay, let's move this over here. I use Privy as well for direct to seller and tired landlord, along with PropWire. Oh, that's awesome. I have not used. Well, I mean, so this challenge is literally the first time me ever using Privy. So everything I've done with Privy, you guys have gotten to see. So I honestly, I don't even know how to use Privy for direct to seller. At some point I'll have to figure that out. So this is already sold. I don't know why this is popping up on my list. So we'll just say failed. Let's do Summerbrook. So this is under contract. So it's 3-2. Oh, man. So this is like a nice comp. This is like exactly what we're looking for. And it's an investor comp. So I'm gonna pass this because I want to call them anyways. Just in case something falls out. Yeah, PropWire. I don't know much about it. I actually Nathan Payne and I, we, for those that are part of the mastermind, Jerry Norton actually comes in and does a call, like I think it's like once a month. And the last time he was on, we got to chat with him about PropWire. That's crazy. For those of you guys that don't know what PropWire is, it's literally like you get to pull data for free. What do you, Lane? What do you mean? Like it works just like a prop stream or like a batch leads, right? To where you can put in criteria and pull a list. Except it's totally for free. Like there's no subscription, there's nothing. And so my main question I got to ask Jerry, my biggest question was like, okay, that's cool, but like, is the data good? Because if the data is bad, then it's like no one's gonna care, or I'm not gonna care. But he was like, no, like I spent a ton of money, and he's like, it's better than. He's like, it's literally like it can't get better than what it is. He's like, we pull it, it's like refreshed. I think he said like daily. So now you don't get free phone numbers. So you do still need to skip trace, but it's like you don't have to pay for a subscription in order to like pull data. And his goal is to really like he's really trying to kind of disrupt the whole data industry. He's kind of really passionate about. He's like, dude, I think it's kind of crazy that people spend all this money, just to have the ability to pull lists. So he's like, dude, I'm gonna like create this thing and make it totally for free. And for him, it's like a really long play. For him, the payoff is like he's kind of doing a big bet. Like he's poured a ton of money. Look at this. Here, let me throw this in for you guys. Dude, as we're chatting, give Privy a try. See, I didn't even know we had this, but I'll throw this in for you guys. Let me throw that in the chat. Boom. Cool. So if you guys do want to use Privy, there you go. That's our affiliate link for it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And you guys get, what is it they get? Hold on, let me see. He just said it. You get like a free 7-day. And they'll give you half of anyone that says, dude. No, but what do you guys get? Let's say, is it a free trial or what is the discount? All right. So this house, did we swap it yet? We wanted to call him. We're gonna do past. We're gonna add it to our list. Wait. Heather Unger. We spoke with her. That was on a different property though. So let's actually just shoot her a text. Did we save her into our CRM? Let's see. Now, why did we mark that one as red? Was it like not a nice conversation? Let's see, which ones have we marked as red? This one, mark. This one is red, but did we put her in here? Realtors. No, we don't have Heather in here. Does anyone remember how that conversation went? Let me put in this property. Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah, she does the bank REOs. That's why we red listed her. Let's just shoot her a text on this one. You know what? We're gonna add her to our list now. Where did I put? There it is. Heather Unger, REO agent. Property address. We will do this one. Listing, follow-up. Let's put her on like a nurture for like 3 weeks. Actually, no. Let's do specific for Thursday next week to touch base on this exact property. REO agent. Ask about the prop above. Florida. So let's shoot her a text real quick. $407. Let's let's click on this link. Let's see. Is there a way I can copy and paste this? So let's take the link here. So if we did sign up today, investor, let's do get started now. Promo code Thrive. Oh, that's cool, dude. So you guys get $20 off for the first month. So that's cool. So you guys get $20 off on the very first month, and it's like a 30-day money back guarantee. So it's like you're only putting up $77 to see if you like it. That's cool. All right. Back to doing work. All right, let's text Heather. What's her number? We got 407. 47810 6304. Hi, Heather. This is Nathan Valle. We spoke briefly on the phone yesterday about your listing on Marietta. Right, is Marietta. Yeah. I just saw your listing on Summerbrook. very interested in the property. If for whatever reason it doesn't look like it will make it to close, please let me know. Hi, hello, this is Nathan Valle. We spoke briefly on the phone yesterday about your listing on Marietta. I just saw your listing on Summerbrook Court and see that it's under contract. I'm very interested in that property. If for whatever reason it doesn't look like it will make it to close, please let me know. Thanks. Cool. All right, let me save her number on my phone. Heather Unga REO Agents Orlando. Okay. Cool. All right. What did we let's put this one as, we can put it as pass off at. Kofi, I'm working on agent outreach and I would like to know if you accept warm leads. If so, what does that process look like? Sorry, I'm a little late to the party. No worries, no worries. Love to have you. Rocky, Privy is absolutely 100% worth it. Dude, I'm loving it. Like, so I mean, I've used them all. I've used Batch, I've used PropStream. They're all great. Privy, I'm brand new to it. And this is the first time we even have an affiliate link for it, right? So it's not like I was trying to sell you guys on Privy. I'm like trying to do this 30-day challenge and use what I think is the absolute best thing to make that 30-day challenge work. So for Privy, dude, like it's just the MLS that now here's kind of my one thing. Just when you go to Privy, look at what markets they are in. They're not all like they don't have direct MLS access to the entire US. So just keep that in mind with whatever market you're going to work. But that's also why I chose the market that I let Privy choose my market, right? Because one, it shows, the data of like, hey, where's all the flips around the entire country, so that you can see like, oh, I should really be in like one of these markets. And then two, I picked a market that Privy's in. Now Privy's in a lot of markets, and it's like, dude, these are big markets, right? So even like Orlando, don't think, but Nate's in Orlando, so like I can't do it. Brother, I've been making calls for like a few days, and it's like I haven't been making that many calls, right? Like I'm not talking to everybody Orlando's big. There's a lot of deals for people. There's a lot of wholesalers in Orlando, right? And all these other markets. There's plenty to go around. So yeah, Privy, I've been, and like the comp tool, like this is so powerful. Like, yeah, I don't even know how to put into words. Like you can see who your buyers are, the before and after. I really wasn't sure about this, like about the Privy thing. I'd known about it for a little while, but I was like, I don't know. Like, there's Batch, there's PropStream. I was like, I don't want to learn another thing. And I didn't really fully understand it. And it wasn't until this challenge where I'm like, I get it. Like I get it now. Yeah, and thing's dope. It is dope. What is this? Is this the top property here? That's this one. What's this one? So sorry, going back, Kofi, to answer your question. Yeah, in order to like work, so one, it has to be in Florida, preferably Orlando, like Orlando, Tampa, like in Jacksonville. If it's in like the middle of nowheres in Florida, it's just like I don't have a buyer for it. I'm not going to be able to work it. So that's kind of like my number one thing. But two, it's got to at least be a qualified lead. So I can't really help you out unless it's a qualified lead. So qualified meaning there's 4 pillars: motivation, timeline, condition, price. Right. So I'm gonna expect, like, if you're like, yo, Nate, hey, I've got a hot lead. Can you help me close it, or can you work with me on it? Like, the first time you reach out to me, you gotta at least have that information. Because if not, you haven't done enough work yet to even know if it's a good lead or not. Right. You gotta at least know, like, well, why is this person interested in selling? You know, what's their timeline? You know, are they even interested in selling it now, or is it like they're not looking to sell for, like, 6 months or like a year from now? Um, um, Price. If they're asking for $1 million on their home and ARV is like 250, I'm not going to waste my time. And you shouldn't waste yours, right? And then condition and price are kind of like, it's, like their initial asking price doesn't need to be at like, like, oh my God, it's like their initial asking price is the perfect price. The biggest things is like motivation and timeline. They need to at least have a reason for selling, and they need to at least be like ready to sell now, kind of thing. You at least have those two. And this is a good rule of thumb for all you guys. If you at least have those two, the condition isn't as important, and price can always drastically change. Very rarely is the first price, even close to what they'll actually accept. But that's only if there is like a legit motivation, and if the timeline's real. And if you're looking at listed properties, I mean, you need to have at least spoke with the agent on the property. It's like, if you see a property that's listed and you're like, hey, Nate, I just saw this property, it's listed for like 150 grand. It says investor special, like, can you work it with me? My first question would be like, it's going to be kind of those same things. Right now, it's different. An agent isn't necessarily going to be like, here's the motivation, but like, it's a listed property, right? So everybody can see it. So if you're bringing me a property that, it's been listed for 30 days, and, it's just like, hey, here's this listed property. I've got, there's enough listings to look at. There has to be a reason as to why is this one a hot property to call. Did you talk with the agent and they're like, yeah, we need an offer? The seller, they want to get this thing sold. Did you have a conversation with the agent and, they said we just fell out of a contract and we want to get this thing sold? Or, again, it's a kind of a different conversation, but you're still able to figure out like a motivation, right? And timeline isn't really a thing. And timeline isn't, if it's listed, we already know. Yeah, 30-day money back guarantee. We know about that. So yeah. I need help. I have Privy, but don't know how to use it. So they have a bunch of cool videos. That's how I learned. Honestly, I learned, so it was a combination of like the videos that Benson, the founder of Privy, videos that he has posted, and it's like called the Learning Center. The Learning Center or the training. Honestly, it's like right here. The Learning Center. So if you go here, there's a whole bunch of videos. Watch those, and then YouTube. If you just type in, Privy real estate, there's like a million videos of people using Privy, and you can watch how they use it and kind of figure it out that way. That's how I did it. Or the other thing you can do is like, go back to like day one and watch how I set up Privy, and how I use in this process. I kind of break down and show you guys how I set everything up. So you can do that too. But there is a learning curve, for sure. All right. This was the one we were just looking at. Why'd that change? So this is sold. We're just gonna throw that on failed. And if you guys are wondering why are this list is called actives, 0 to 49 days on market, why are under contracts and solds popping up in here? Well, they may have, like, when we added them to this list, they may have been active and met all this criteria, but then the status has probably changed since then, right? You know, the status could have changed the same day. It could have changed a few days from now. Privy has helped not only find buyers, but also sustain my bigger pockets agent partnerships as well. That's cool. Yeah, man, there's a lot you can do with it. It's a sweet tool. Look up John Galan's privy trainings on YouTube. Yeah, that's what I did. That's exactly what I followed. I had to watch it a couple times because he goes through it pretty quick. It's a 3-part series. Like, there's 3 videos. They're like 10, 12 minutes each. He does an awesome job, you know, kind of walking you through how he sets his up. And that's for, like, kind of getting on market deals coming to you. All right, so this is under contract. Let's just take a real quick peek. We will throw it in past, just in case it falls out. And again, guys, you know, for these ones that are already under contract, like for these kind of properties, right? Like, dude, this is an investor property all day. So I want to build relationships. What property was this? Oh, this was Heather's. We want to build relationships with agents that, like, these are the kind of properties that they're getting. You know, not all agents deal with houses like this. We want to look for the ones that do. So it's not necessarily that we're calling, you know, because we're really trying to get this house. You know, some of these guys we're calling just because we want to create the relationship with the guy that works with these types of houses. All right. Oh my gosh, it's 10:30 already. Dang, let's make some calls. Let's add this dude's number in here. Let's call David. He seems nice. Let's start off with this dude. Where's my water bottle? Man, did I leave it downstairs? I did. Oh well. All right, so let's call up David. So we got this dude, 352-243-7343. Or I'm sorry, I did that wrong. 7374.
Thank you for calling Watson Real Estate. This is Jason. How can I help you?
Hey, Jason. I think I might have had the wrong number. I was actually looking for David Brannon.
David Brannon. That is fantastic. Oh, he's a new agent. I have not met David yet, so I didn't know who he was. So.
Oh, got it.
Does he have
I'm sorry.
Does he have a transfer card? Okay. Yeah. Hold on, I'm learning his transfer number right now. So
okay, unless he
transfer him over to you.
If he has a cell number, that would work better for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if
he does. Okay, hold on one second. I'm actually there. He is right there. All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, all set.
All right, he's 689.
Okay, 689 245
1899.
1899. Okay, cool. I'll give him a call.
Correct. All right.
All right.
No problem.
Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Cool. So a couple things. So we got to learn a lot just from that, like 10 seconds. One, he's brand new. Two, it's actually kind of like, as an investor, those are like the perfect guys to build relationships with. So when we spoke with Rick yesterday, he was like, bruh, I do 60, 70 transactions. He's like, I'm killing it. You know, I don't want to work with you kind of people. Like, I've got an established business to where, like, I don't need to go through the headaches of working with you. Like, I'd rather work with these people. Like, you know, these are my ideal clients, this niche. Newer guys, it's kind of like being a new wholesaler. It's like, you like, in the beginning, bro, you gotta hustle, man. Right? It's like, you know, a lot of the guys you see on YouTube or whatnot, they kind of grow to a point to where it's like, you're established and a lot of people are bringing you deals. But in the beginning, it's like, you got to hustle and make it happen in order to find, you know, other people deals and stuff like that. So this guy, he's probably going to be hustling with these kind of properties for a while, until he gets established. So let's give him a call. 689-245. Dude, the funny thing is, like, depending how new he is, dude, if he's anything like me when I was a realtor for like 5 minutes, bro, if someone called me, I would have had no clue what I was talking about. I would have known nothing. I honestly have a hard time imagining anyone being a realtor and knowing less than what I knew when I started.
This is David Brandon with Watson Realty. Sorry I can't get to the phone at the moment. If you could please leave your name, phone number, and a brief message, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, David, this is Nathan. I was just calling about one of the properties that I saw listed with you. Give me a call when you get the chance. This is my cell phone. My number is 845-853-6551. Thanks. All right. Let's call some of these other dudes. Let's call Linessa. All right, let's see what we're looking at. Okay. Dang, boy, 183 days. They dropped 22 grand a while ago. That was quite a while ago, right? So we're thinking this is probably like right about where their bottom line is. What do we think comps need to be at? Like, just ballpark. Let's look at some of the newer ones. Oh, there are no newer ones. That's not helpful. What's under contract in this area? Nothing new. So let's look at price. They're listed at 342. And it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. And it's got a two-car stall garage. 1,600 square feet. So let's see, this 1,000 square feet bigger. But that's interesting. It went from 1,800 to 2,700. Let's take a look at this. I think it was this one, right? So 5-bedroom, 2-bath. So that's another thing you got to keep in mind with square footage is, right, and this is why like the algorithms, you know, like the Zestimate and stuff aren't perfect, because they'll look at something like this and they'll be like, no, it's all wrong. Like they're like, no, the square footage, like this isn't a comp or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as an investor, if you look at it, you're like, oh, wait, well, maybe they were able to make some shifts or open up some walls, and it's the same style house, right? But they were able to figure out a way to where they could count an extra like 1,000 square feet, you know, than our property. Even though it might have been the same exact style as a house as ours, people would have skipped this over as a comp because they're like, nah, there's no way. It's the square footage is literally like double what ours was. They did a nice job with this. It's a really nice house. So that's actually kind of cool. But if ours is listed for 342, bro, and this thing sold for 376, that's kind of crazy. Ours sold over here. Dude, let's just call this person and see what's going on with this one. Lanessa. Oh, that's one thing. We just want to look real quick at what remarks made. Great property. Over a half acre on a corner. Oh, okay, so is that it? So it is on a big lot. Which one's satellite view? This one. So ours is this right here. So that's why is they're probably trying to be like, yo, you've got all this space. Which is cool. But obviously it's not $342,000 cool. $804-721-8047.
Hi, this is Vanessa. Sorry I'm not available to take your call. Please leave me a brief message.
Let's call her again.
Hi, this is Vanessa. Sorry I'm not available to take your call. Please leave me a brief message and I will return your call as soon as I can. Thank you. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Lanessa, this is Nathan. I was just calling about one of your listings that I saw here. If you could, please give me a call back when you get a chance. My number is 845-853-6551. Thanks. All right. Let's shoot a text. Hi, Lanessa. I was calling about one of your listings. Is there a time today you can chat? Send. All right. Let's call Valle. In Eatonville. Is that the right property? Yeah, okay, there we go. My guess is this is going to be an REO agent. That's going to be my guess, but we'll see. All right. Let's call her up. Three-bedroom. Drive located. Okay, cool. Let's just get a real quick look at some prices. I think this one we said we'd have to get really low. It was like hard to comp. Yeah, I remember this. All right, let's call Sarah. 864-1745.
This is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. This is Nathan. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, thanks. I was actually calling about one of your listings I saw here, but I was calling to see if you had a minute to chat about it, but it sounds like I caught you in the middle of something.
No, it's fine.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so I was calling, I was looking at it here. I'm an investor and I'm looking for some properties in the area. And yeah, I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about this property. I'd see it listed here. I don't know. What's that?
Which one are you looking at?
The one on Bel Street.
Okay, 7 Valle Street, gotcha.
Yeah. Is I'm looking at it here. I know kind of for me, in order for it to make sense, I'd need to be a little bit kind of below the price it's listed at. I guess I'm kind of calling because I'm interested in the property, but of course, I don't know what the situation is with the seller or anything. Of course, I'm not looking to insult them with a low offer or waste your time or mine kind of thing.
Right. It's a reverse mortgage foreclosure, so it's technically like bank owned, but instead of a bank, it's HUD.
Okay.
They have guidelines that the asset management company has to abide by.
Right.
So
right.
the list price is the appraisal, the as-is appraisal value, and they have to get that in order to have the list price for the HUD guidelines. So the asset management company can accept anything that's 95% of the list price or better. However, anything under the 95% mark has to be submitted to HUD for like an underwriting review, which can take some time.
Okay.
And then no answer. So I really can't say what they will or will not accept. It's a system, driven process there. And so I would suggest maybe taking a look at the property and.
Do you know?
Submit your highest and best offer.
Do you know for like if it's less than 95% and they send it through HUD? Yeah, you've got much more experience than I do with it. Do you know? I guess what would you say is kind of the typical I guess chances for approval, or disapproval?
Well,
Is
the
it?
way HUD looks at it, I think, is they kind of like take notes of the offers that they get in. It seems like for the first, FHA appraisals are good. They were good for 160 days. Now they've extended it to 190 days. So they're stuck to that appraisal for at least that long. And,
So,
I've been seeing them always, anything under that, countering it to the list price, asking for highest and best to kind of show in the system that they are trying to get the best that they can. And then HUD usually either just rejects or accepts. So I can tell you, though, within the 160, it's 190 days now. Within that time frame, I don't usually see them accept anything. It's usually after that.
got it. So they're pretty firm for that first 190 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's guidelines. That's, they, even if they wanted to accept the offer, they can't, because it's like, you're checking off a checklist.
Right. No, I totally get it.
It's all systematic,
Yeah. No, I mean, well, it kind of makes it easy for me. I guess I don't have to worry about offending them or anything.
The good thing is, at least you go in there and you take a look at it. You put your highest and best number on it. You get your name in the system and everything. And then eventually, if they get past that and have another appraisal or have a price reduction,
yeah,
they'll go back and look at all the highest and best offers that they have and see if it's something they can accept at that time,
Do for you, Sarah, do you kind of only work with like the bank owned properties?
I do. I only work with this one company for right now, yes.
Okay. And
specializing in reverse mortgages.
I don't know if for you, I typically, I really haven't worked much at all with bank owns. Most of what I've always done is kind of like direct to seller. So, kind of doing a lot of MLS stuff is really kind of a lot newer to me. For you guys with working with bank owned, is that something where typically, I guess, is it helpful to you at all to be able to have someone that, look, I look to buy a lot of properties, I can buy cash. Can close quick. We can make things very easy and smooth. And I'm very, very convenient to work with. It can be like a text, and I can let you know exactly if it's able to fit for me. If it's not a fit for me,
right.
Most of the time I know a guy that it could be a good fit for at least. I don't know. Is that something you work with at all, or is it like very strict?
I can. Just keep in mind, they won't accept the signable contract. Things like that, like it's straight up traditional sales.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of people that watch the properties when they come out, or I guess they follow me either in the MLS or through my website or whatnot, and as soon as the property hits, I always see the offers come in from the same people. It's hilarious. So I have a link that you can use, and I'll have to send that to you. You can text me your address, but it's basically a link that you can go to that puts all your offer terms in there, and then that way, I have your highest and best on hand, or if it hasn't been submitted yet, go ahead and get it, submitted into the bank.
Do you ever kind of?
And if you want to see them before they're even on the market, that way when they do hit the market, you have some advanced knowledge on where you're at. If they're faster than others, that's fine too.
Yeah, that's, I guess, kind of ideally what I was kind of asking is, I don't know if there's a way if I'm able to kind of hear about it, right before you list it.
Would be to try to follow up with me monthly and see where my evictions are. I've got quite a few in evictions right now. We just had 3 new ones sent to us last week. So when they sent those over, they were telling us to be prepared that our current inventory is about to double. So if I have 12 now, I can only imagine what's going to come in the next. I don't know how, they didn't say how soon, but they said get ready.
Wow.
I'll definitely be having some stuff, but they're all going to have the same guidelines, and, it's all going to be like pretty much the same thing across the board.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, if there's a way that I'm able, if it's either a text or an email, whatever's easiest for you, if there's a way that.
Yeah, email usually is best. Yeah, I have a hard time keeping up with stuff like that on my phone and I'm not a big texter. I don't know. I know that's the new thing and everybody does it, but I really can't stand a phone and I hate texting it. If I'm going to use it, I better be talking on it.
No, I totally
So
understand.
email's always really good. I'm always on the email. I monitor it very heavily. So.
Okay, so phone and email works best for you?
Yes, I hate texting. It's like, necessary.
So what's the best way for, because like ideally the way I'd love to work with you is if I'm able to kind of learn a little bit about it.
Honestly, what a lot of my guys do, like I said, is just check in with me about once a month or so.
Yeah.
When you email me, I'm going to put you in on the list too, so that when something does go active, you'll see that it's active in the system. So, like, I would just check with me once a month or whatever and see what my new addresses are. And just keep in mind that anything I get newly assigned to me that you're going to go ahead and look at could take anywhere from 2 to 3, 4 months to get it actually active to where it can take offers. So it's not a very fast process on them. You'll be able to see them,
Do they ever accept offers?
Amount of time.
Do they ever accept offers like same day as list, or do they always have a process?
No, there's a first look period, 3 to 5 days. It depends on how the offers come in. If we get more than one offer in the first 3 days, it extends it to 5 in the system.
Okay, interesting.
And then it automatically generates highest and best. Process.
Got it. So no matter what, so they would only accept an offer within the first few days if they only got one offer.
Only offer and nothing else is going on. Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. Okay. Got it. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got your number here, and you said keeping in touch with you once a month is the best way to go about it.
I would say once a month, 2 months or whatever. Yeah. Shoot me an email. I mean, I get so busy, it's hard for me to remember everyone is the thing. You can't imagine how many people over the years, I've been doing this since 2005. You can't imagine how many people over the years. I mean, I have a database of 9,000 people. It's difficult to
Oh my goodness.
To keep up with all of them. So
yeah.
They either follow me on the website or they follow me on the realtor.com or something like that, so they can see them when they come out. And the investor ones that actually flip and do wholesale or whatever like that, they check in with me monthly because they like to see stuff in advance.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably keep in touch with you on probably closer to a month, every 3-4 weeks kind of thing. I might just touch base. But okay, perfect. Well, Sarah, I appreciate your time, and really appreciate you kind of educating me a bit there on the process. It's really helpful, and really look forward to us kind of working together down the road.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. I'll tell you what, when you send me that email, I'll go ahead and send you a little cheat sheet of some things to go ahead and take a look at and have in mind, or at least what I have active and coming soon.
Okay, do you want me to just text you my email? Or do you want me to email it? I know you just told me how much you hate texting.
I know, I do. Because from the phone to the computer, I like to keep everything in one place. So let's say I'm on the road and I got an assistant at the desk and I say, she'll get everything in the computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to keep it all in one spot.
I hear. I'm the same way. What email works best for you? I'll just send you an email directly.
Sarah sells Florida Homes at gmail.com. So it's SARA with no H. And then sells.
Sarah sells Florida Homes at Gmail, you said?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. All right, I will send you an email in just a second here, and then we'll talk again sometime soon.
Awesome.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Have a great rest of your day, and happy Valentine's.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I gotta get busy.
I hear you.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So, good conversation. So let's shoot her an email Well, we might not for me to it up. Nathan Payne's going to be hopping on here in just a second. Rocky, in a non-assignable situation, I definitely do double closing, using my own money for EMD at times, but mostly have others provide EMD via JV. Yeah, boom, you nailed it. That's the first thing that came across my mind, right? So when they say, oh, it can't be assignable, guys, it's fine. There's ways to work around it. You can do a double close. It's about the ninja move to where it's like you buy the property into an LLC and then you assign the ownership rights of the LLC to somebody. So there's ways to work around it, for sure. So, you know, that's not something that's a big deal. In the beginning, when I was really new to wholesaling, like that was like a huge thing for me. It was like, like it needs to say assignable. But kind of the more you learn, you realize like, oh, there's ways to work around it. You know, the most important thing is it a deal I can sell? Like, do I know that this is a good deal? And do I know I have someone that will buy this at this price? That's the most important thing. All right. The figuring out how to make that all happen, that's the easy part, right? Like that'll, you know, if you need money for EMD, you can get it from your buyer. Like if it's a good deal, you can get it from your buyer. You know, sometimes you might sacrifice a little bit of, you know, maybe you could assign it for a little bit more money if you did something, you know, different, but you got to pick and choose, right? So you can't have your cake and eat it too. Sometimes you gotta be able to work with them. Hey man, if you give me assignment money, you know, instead of $250, I can actually get this to you for $240, right? Or $245, like a $5,000 discount, just for him using his money for EMD, right? Whatever the case be. And you could be like, yo, you're the, or it could just be something that's like, hey, I won't, like you're getting first look at it right now. If you're willing to give the EMD towards it and it's a good fit for you, like it's yours. If not, I'm gonna reach out to like everybody in my network, right? And when we have relationships with our buyers, which is kind of like the whole theme of what we've been doing, right? Like that is the most important paramount thing. Have those relationships with your buyers, right? Some of the guys that we've spoke with, do you think they'd be willing to do that? Like if it's a good deal, like, could we trust them and work with them? Yeah, 100%, man. There's like that dude, Adrian, I think was his name, from Tampa. Like, you know, guys like that, they'll work with you, right? 100%. If it's a deal and there's money to be made, they'll work with you. Cool. Great example. I did agents with certain requirements under a follow-up specific folder with detailed info and privy and my CRM. Awesome, man. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, keep me posted. I'd love to hear how it goes. And that Florida property, if you had any questions on, you can just text it to me. Just text it to me and I'll take a look at it. And then we can kind of go from there. Cool. But guys, that is day 10. Happy Valentine's Day. Nathan Payne's probably live already. Go hop over, check him out, show him some love. Otherwise, stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll be back for day 11, talking to some more agents, looking at more properties, and seeing how it goes. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Talk to y'all soon. Have an awesome day. Catch you guys later.